Okay. Hi, guys.
To the podcast where we just talk about Witch for an hour because this is something
For
we
now,
do.
yeah.
We do this often enough and for long enough periods of time that we decided we could just do this. We could just talk about this for an hour
Podcast.
every week. Basically, we've all kind of grown up reading and I guess to some extent watching the cartoon. I don't know how to
Witch.
really describe Witch.
It was a large part of our childhood.
Oh my god, it was so formative. You could draw a direct line from yours and my art style to Witch.
Yeah.
That's how we
Yeah.
learned to draw
I
was
see
from
that.
those.
It was
See that from both of
a
you.
huge evolution from like Disney Channel characters to Witch.
Yeah, it was like Kim Possible, Witch, Where I Draw Now.
Yes.
Like you'll see it
Yes.
in the final edit of this. I'll probably have like the album art I did of this as the background. But like
Yes.
I did that specifically because it's so close to the original comic cover that I did. I don't know
You
why,
did a really
but
good job.
thank you.
Yay!
It's so sweet of you guys to say. Yeah, that's you can really see, like me and Alexa. Well, I think we should probably introduce ourselves now. Hi.
Yes.
I'm Kat, but these two call me E because I've known them since middle school, and
Sometimes Aviva, but E for now.
sometimes Aviva, sometimes E. Usually Kat when I'm around mixed company, but they call me that because I've known them since I was a child, and we grew up during the age of like Gossip Girl, and we kind of
Yes.
clung on to those nicknames even though we wish we didn't.
It just stuck with us. It stuck.
Yeah, this is sadly the world we live in now.
Yeah. And I'm Alexa, but these two call me either L or Lex.
Kate, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Kate. I'm Kate.
Actually, you have the least number of nicknames in this chat.
Yeah, that's still Kate from when I was little to now, and
Yeah.
I love these two so much.
Oh.
We have all been
Yes.
friends
I'm
for
so
like
glad
over 20 years.
Yes, I'm so glad we're doing this. But also, yes, are we gonna get down to business?
All right. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. So today on this podcast where we talk about Witch, the first thing we thought of was like immediately last week we were talking about Witch because we just do that from time to time, and I brought up Caleb because Caleb is a problem.
He's a problem.
I was watching the show with Will earlier on, like 2 weeks ago, and immediately like it opens with Caleb, and we don't. To people who have read the comic, it's like, why would you do that? This story's not about him. They adapted
No, it's not.
They adapted it like this for the card captors effect, which I'm calling it that because in the original, manga and the original anime that wasn't dubbed, you know, it was very much more about Sakura, but because they tried to like market it towards little boys, they had to like kind of unisexify it, so they made it more about the adventures. They aired it out of order. They did all sorts of dumb stuff to the way it was adapted for American audiences, so that boys would be interested in it. Even though it's really not a boy thing. Like boys could be into it if they were into like the inner lives of 9-year-old girls, but because that's not what was encouraged in boys at the time, that's not really what was marketable. So so they like really tried to amp up the adventure, and by doing that they lost a lot of the depth, and that's what they did with Witch as well. It was like they started it off with like Caleb's weird quest instead of starting it.
It's like, where did that come from?
Yeah, like, who is this weird blue man? Why do we care? Don't start it like this.
Wait, he was blue?
No, there was a blue guy with him, the big blue dude
Oh,
that's like
okay.
his sidekick. Like, who's this Caleb dude? Why do we care? Who's his giant blue sidekick? Who are these goblins? What is this world? We didn't get. There's no intro to that.
There is not.
This story is at its core about 5 girls growing together and having like magical powers and protecting other worlds. But you started it off with like this dude, and
This
it's like,
guy.
who cares? Who gives a shit about this man? So
Lukewarm dude.
It's like some kind of a poor way to introduce like the whole Meridian arc.
yeah,
I think
I don't
like they're
even
trying
know
to introduce the problem or something.
I didn't know the series starts with him, like the show. I
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah, the show.
It's like the first 5 minutes of it are just him and his problems, and it's like, this is not how this story is supposed to start. It's not about him.
Yeah, like at first, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be about the girls like discovering that they're witch,
Yeah.
or like discovering that they will be witch, and then that's when they kind of find out about Meridian because that's basically their first job.
Exactly. Like, you don't start in medias, like you don't start in medias res on both of these stories, but specifically you don't start in medias res on like the witch bit, because that's like the inciting incident that's so important. You don't just randomly be like, oh, they kind of know about each other. They all still think Will's weird though. Like, that's such a strange point in time to like start that
Yeah.
story. So today I
Yeah,
think
it's like
was this
it's
is
like supposed to be team building with witch first.
yeah, you're not supposed to know about Caleb until at least halfway through the first arc, and even then.
Yeah.
So, like, the problem we all have with Caleb is that he's very one-dimensional, very boring.
Yeah.
Hmm.
If,
In short, he could be better.
yeah, this episode is
I mean, there
devoted
is
to
like
fixing
room
this
for
character.
potential.
Yeah, he has
There
potential.
is, yeah, there's room for like improvement in his character, but they just I don't know why they just went with this flat ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if they want, it's like they were trying to false advertise the boys, and then
Exactly.
once the boys start watching, they'll be like, "What the heck? Where did this guy go? He's a god."
Where did our plant man go? Yes. So basically, this episode is devoted to fixing the character of Caleb, because he's got potential, but he is so poorly handled that none of us like. There's no investment there. His
Yeah.
character and his romance with Cornelia is so underdeveloped and so
It's so
strange.
basic.
It's so strange and
It's-
basic.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure we would have to like talk a little bit about his origin, or like
Okay.
at least so we have a baseline of what we're fixing.
Okay, yeah, so these two know a little bit more about this than me, so I will hand the baton off to them in terms of this.
Yeah. Kate is the one who read about it.
Yeah, she's the one that looked it up
Do you
recently.
want me to read off of the website?
No. Give us the abridged version.
Yeah, paraphrase.
From the comics, right? From the
Yeah.
comics.
Yeah. Because the comics are way better.
Mm.
No, it's basically he's just introduced as originally from originally he just developed a will of his own. That's basically it. Like, oh, there's this dude that like
There's the
ran
stu-
away from everyone else and became a leader of a rebellion.
Oh yeah, and he was a creation of Phobos, basically
Yeah.
the dictator of Meridian. So
Mhm.
there's some weird thing there, like how did he get free will?
It just says like somehow he developed a free will. So that's basically his whole backstory, which is like, but how? Why? What is the point?
And like,
What's his
how did
deal?
he just got enlightened for some reason?
He ascended to the Heaviside layer somehow. Don't let me bring
And
pets
just,
into
you
this.
know,
We'll talk forever.
Yeah, he just became like he just got edgy and started the resistance. Basically,
Yeah.
he's supposed to be the resistance leader, and apparently that's his backstory. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, like, I understand that he's meant to be quite a simple character in that respect, and we don't have to change that much. But,
Mhm.
like, surely he has to have his convictions come from somewhere, other than just, oh, I want to rebel against Dad. What is that?
Like, it didn't even make it clear that he saw injustice happening because of Phobos, or like he could have like ran away from. Is there a castle? I forgot if there was a castle.
There's
But
probably
anyway,
a castle. There's always a castle.
and maybe he like broke out and then decided to live the simple life because he doesn't know anything as a plant man.
Yeah, there's no reason for his rebellion. I mean,
Yeah.
does he see the injustices being perpetrated on the rest of the realm? What?
Yeah, I don't think he would see that in the castle, which is the
Yeah.
thing. Like, he has to get out of there first.
Also, he's a plant. He has no eyes. He has no means of knowing.
Oh, I
Also,
think he
weren't
does.
weren't they
Yeah.
made to follow Phobos? So like how
He
did
bought.
he
Yeah, basically.
right?
And then, like, how did he not start following suddenly?
Exactly.
Was it like a mutation? I don't know, error in the DNA?
Even if
Sure.
he sees the injustice or whatever, he was made to follow Phobos. So like how
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that's a very big problem. Because if you don't have free will to begin with, how would you even know if something's wrong or right? Like if what you're doing is wrong or right.
Yeah, if you have no concept of free will and no concept of morality, how do you know what an injustice is?
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
point
yeah.
number one, he should have free will of some kind. He shouldn't have been
And
created as a subservient species.
yeah, the whole problem of Phobos's goons, I mean plant goons idea
Plant
is
game.
just I think it gotta go.
The whole idea of that, just have him be like somebody that lives there. He doesn't have to be a plant goon. That doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
Or like if they really want plant goons, don't make it like, oh, they don't have free will. Like maybe they could just be like soldiers or something.
Yeah, they
They
could be
were
like
trained.
they could be
They were
like
trained
Yeah.
the
to like
Yeah, like trained and to like uphold order in Meridian
yeah,
basically.
and then have that order slowly be corrupted into like
yes.
authoritarian rule. I
Yeah.
mean, since that's what it seems like I don't think they were always bad. I feel like Phobos just slowly wrestled that power until he became like Supreme Chancellor Palpatine or
Supreme.
some nonsense.
Supreme.
He went full scale like, authoritarian after a period of time where he was easing into it. He did a Palpatine, I'm
Yeah.
assuming. Like there's
I
no
think so.
yeah,
Actually, there's no backstory on that either, so.
there's no explanation on the political landscape of this land. Like we
Not
don't
a lot.
understand other than it's a monarchy, but we don't know like
Mhm.
was the power how it was held. Like were they generally fairly
Yeah.
peaceful until Phobos came into power, and that's why people are upset? Are they only now realizing that it's bad, and it's been like this for
And
zillions
like,
of
yeah.
years? Like give us more history on that. I want to know as somebody that cares
Yeah.
deeply about
Lately,
fictional
and
politics.
Yeah.
they didn't make one. So that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are here to lore this thing.
We're basically doing like the red pen editing for Witch because they didn't do it themselves.
Yes, it's gonna be a bunch of inserts and crossing out.
Yeah, basically. Every comic panel should have had a line like on top of it so that you could cross stuff out and put your corrections. Because this is
Yeah.
like based on how they've written it, it is nonsense, and you have to like do so much
Well, I
adding
mean,
to it to make it make sense.
when we were young, we didn't really know any better, but now
I mean,
we've
yeah.
evolved.
As children, you're not.
Young, when we were young, we realized how like incomplete it was to the point that we just use our imagination to fill things in.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's kind of why
We
we
did
did
do
that
that.
game thing in general, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, we should talk about a little bit about the game
Alright,
thing,
so
maybe.
some backstory is required here. When we were all in about, I think when it started coming out, when we were like 8 or 9, we basically made believe that we were a part of this world as well. There were portals around our school. We had connections to
And
the
we were
elements.
Witch.
Yeah, we were Witch, basically. There are
Yeah.
2 people missing from this that we won't discuss. One sucks and the other one just isn't around anymore. So
Sadness.
yeah, we're not gonna get into that today, or probably ever, because they might.
But yeah,
end up
we're the
finding
OG3.
Yeah, we're the OG3. Yeah, this was kind of the stuff that we did as children, so you can kind of see why we're so devoted to making this a better franchise and a better like thing in general, is because
Yeah.
it was such a big part of our childhoods. It really defined a lot of who we became as adults. It was so badly done, and we just wanted better, you know.
Yeah, it did not age well
Oh my god,
with us.
it super didn't age well. Yeah, especially like a lot of the storytelling stuff. We did have to fill in a lot of gaps when we were like playing around in the playground. So like that's what we're doing now basically. We're like really that's what we want to do, is expand on all of these stories that took 12 issues of filler basically.
Oh yeah, 12 issues.
It was 12 issues.
Yeah, the
to
whole
a
Meridian
thing.
arc.
Yeah, so
yeah.
That's why.
Well, that's why we are so invested in this.
That's why we care so much about this franchise that ended like so many years ago. So Part one of addressing Caleb is fixing the political system and the history of this world. There's no reason
Pretty
for a
much.
rebellion if we don't understand what they're rebelling against.
And I think that ties into like who Phobos in general too.
Yeah, of course. You can't be rebelling against someone if you don't know what their deal is. And Phobos' whole deal was just I'm evil, muhaha. But like, what's happening there? What's he doing?
Yeah, actually. So like Phobos, okay, just trying to remember what he was doing.
I just know
So
he
he's
was a
like
dick.
Elion's big bro, right?
Yeah.
Was he like supposed to like he was the rightful heir? Is that it?
I thought Elian was the rightful heir, and he was like taking her crown from her or something, or using her,
Oh.
or like using his power through her or something like that. I don't think he
Oh,
was.
maybe. Oh, wait. Maybe
I
like.
recall he was a usurper, but I'm not sure.
Oh, well, I guess that would make more sense. But yeah, Kate, did you read about that part?
I didn't read about Phobos that much. I just read about Caleb.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We can do it. We can do it.
This is that refreshing on the fly we were talking about.
Yes.
Oh god.
Well, we don't really have to know what was there, but what could be a good thingy for Phobos to actually make him, I don't know, a good evil guy that's not just evil. So like if he was a usurper, so that would mean Elian was deemed as more rightful, right?
I think
For
so.
the
Yeah, I think
throne?
she was like the rightful heir.
And I forgot why she didn't have the power to take
Was
the
it like
throne.
a matrilineal like power thing? Is that why she like because she's technically the younger sibling, but
Oh,
she's
maybe?
the rightful heir? Maybe it transfers through matrilineal like connections as opposed to like you know the normal patrilineal line of succession that kings and queens generally have. I don't know. That's just my assumption.
Separated, right? They were separated.
Yeah.
Elian and Phobos.
Yeah.
Like after the
So he was
power thing or
He was
before?
trying to find Elian, right?
For a little bit, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then he found
Yeah.
her, and then he just
And-
mind controlled her a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I'm kind of cheating and searching Meridian. Okay, so Meridian was always ruled by a queen.
Okay.
And then
so it is matrilineal.
Oh, okay. So there's some backstory which I think we should know.
Okay.
It was always ruled by a queen and was once a happy place to live. And then so there was a queen and her husband that mysteriously disappeared, and that's when Phobos seized the throne. So at that time, Elian wasn't around. Basically, Phobos drained Meridian dry of its magic, and Meridian was sealed off from the rest of the universe by Kandrakar people because they feared that Phobos would want to drain other worlds. And Phobos decided to steal his sister's Elian's magical powers so that he could get past basically the veil, and that veil is the one that the Kandrakar people put around Meridian. And then after that happened,
He was just made evil. There's no backstory.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, so he just sucks, basically.
Yeah. So he was next in line in the throne because he's older, or he just stole it. Never mind. It was always ruled by a queen, right?
Yeah.
Right. I forgot about that. But yeah. And then Elian, after her magic power was stolen, like her nanny took her from the palace and somehow took her to Earth, even if there was a veil.
Sure. Okay.
And that's when she was raised as a normal girl. So,
Okay.
Wait. Phobos didn't get the magical powers yet. That's just his plan. That's why the nannies made Elian somehow go to Earth so that Phobos couldn't get the power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Boy, oh boy.
Okay.
So, problem.
Lots to unpack there.
It says here that in the comics, according to both Phobos and the Oracle, Elian is even stronger than Phobos himself. But in the show, Elian's powers have yet to grow to that stage. So it's very different.
God. The show is such a problem.
God, this show. It's just ruining
I don't think the show understood what it was talking about.
Oh my god, it really didn't. It should have read the source material a little bit harder.
Yeah. I don't think that change helped the story at all.
No, it really didn't.
So, Phobos just wanted the throne, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And actually, why did he want to drain Meridian dry of its magic? Was it just because of power?
Did he just want to be the most powerful being on their planet? Is that his deal?
He wanted to be God or something? I don't know.
Fucking light Yagami ass, head ass piece of shit. I'm so confused.
Oh,
what does he want to do? So,
yeah, I think we're like root causing the problem.
Yeah. We have to have.
Okay, I read something. in order to fuel his own magical powers with the aim of becoming strong enough to take over other worlds. So basically, that was his goal.
Oh, so he wants to
Oh,
Why?
conquer people. Okay, yeah, that makes
he
more
just wants the
sense.
empire. Okay,
Maybe
he wants empire.
they should have really explained that a little clearer in the comic.
But he's kind of dumb, isn't he? Like, if he wants an empire, why would he drain his subjects dry? Well, I
Yeah.
mean, his land dry. Like, what the
He
heck?
didn't think it through. He was
He's a
He's just
bad
dumb in
conqueror.
general.
Yeah, he's a big doofus. So
Like, he could have just, instead of draining, like, maybe just have, like, a power-hungry dictatorial rule instead of, like, making his land super
barren.
unusable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of maybe raising and salting the earth, you could have used that earth to produce fertile crops and then fed your soldiers and then made them go do shit for you, which is what most people do. Phobos,
Most
you're very bad at your
emperors.
job.
Which is he just stole, apparently. Mysteriously disappeared. I feel like he might have. No, he had something to do with that.
when are we
Like,
going back to Caleb?
mysteriously, his parents disappeared.
Yeah, I think
So
maybe
when
they
are we
just.
going back? When are we going back to
I'm
Caleb?
sorry, Kate.
Well, well,
This
it's a
seemed
bit of
like
a
it needed
problem.
more of a fix than we thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought it was
This
just gonna
is
be
a
about
bit of a
Caleb, but
fix-up.
the problems with Caleb are so hugely intertwined with the problems of the entire Phobos arc. So I guess we had
Yeah.
to address all of that.
I think we need to fix Meridian.
Yeah, Meridian as a
And
whole
Phobos.
is.
So, scratch out Caleb in the title,
Yeah.
and now it's Phobos.
Just fixing Phobos, the show. Yeah, so.
But I'm enjoying talking about Phobos right now.
Good.
Well,
We have these. We've been having like sleepovers, just talking about this stuff for like the longest time. I'm so glad we decided to do this now, in this way. Now that I'm outside of the country and can't be doing sleepovers with you guys as often.
Yeah, we will have podcasts immortalize this conversation.
I'm going to force everyone I know to listen to it.
So Caleb's problems are rooted in Phobos, and Phobos is just kind of dumb, but not really a strong villain.
Yeah.
Because he's just.
He's just a big dumb snake. Like in most cinematic language, in most visual language, snakes are meant to be cunning. They're meant to be smart. If you're gonna make him a snake character, give him a fucking brain. He has to be able to know how conquest works and how manipulation works, because those are the things that are like central to his character and what he does in the story. So instead of maybe making him ruin his whole fucking homeland so that he can go conquer other lands for some nebulous reason, we could maybe make him like a smarter person than that.
In general.
Yeah, flex his power in different ways so that he isn't just stealing all of the magic out of his planet forever. That's such a strange choice. I don't understand it. I'm going to be thinking about this for so long now.
Yeah. It's okay, we're here for the long haul.
Yeah.
Well, not in this episode, but
Not
yeah.
this episode, maybe
So-
next week. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that is our current problem to fix, is what the fuck is going on
And
with
for
Phobos.
Phobos' character, do you guys think that they did that on purpose for him to be dumb, just wanting powers?
Well, I'm not really sure if they wanted to or if they just lacked the imagination.
I think maybe Kate's onto something because he's like their first big bad and they don't know what they're doing. So maybe they were like, let's
Yeah.
make him be an idiot so that, you
Yeah,
know,
right?
so that they can probably...
Oh, like level 1 boss
yeah,
or
like
something
level
like
one
that?
boss. Yeah. Like
But that's just kind of sad. Like, this whole world and this villain is just reduced to level 1.
That's also a big problem. If you want this story to be compelling, you can't just reduce it to a first level dungeon. You have to make it like actually good, which is what I've been trying to do in my D&D campaign.
The thing,
To varying
they
degrees. of
didn't want to think about it like that. Maybe they just wanted like, oh, just make the first baddie to be like a life-sucking dude who's looking for his sister somewhere out there. And I don't know. Maybe that was their whole point, but that's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
real.
dumb.
Yeah, it is quite dumb.
If you wanted to make something about somebody sucking out power, you'd make it about capitalism, but that's a topic for another day. I'm not going to get into my politics right now. But
He's supposed to be cunning enough to have mysteriously dealt with his parents.
yeah, Yeah, but he's so not cunning. He's such a fucking
Yes, he is.
dumbass. There's no way for that to be believable.
So, I guess we could tackle a little bit of that. Like, well, I mean, he's supposed to be smarter now, right? In our better world.
In
So,
our interpretation of this, he would be smart.
Yes,
Yes.
he would
yes.
be.
How would he get the throne? Well, I mean, we can keep the sort of lore of Meridian where it's always ruled by a queen, so that's why Elion is supposed to be the ruler.
Yeah.
But Phobos is like, heck nah. But why would he heck nah?
I mean, I can understand him just wanting to take over other worlds, but he could have just been like a Jafar, like a Grand Vizier sort of person that like works behind the
Oh
scenes
yeah.
and like
Yeah, he could have
puppet
controlled
masters her.
Elion.
Yeah, he could have just done that through soft manipulation instead of full on brain like transplant nonsense.
Elian's supposed to be the one next on the throne, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
and she's stronger than him magically.
It was always ruled by a queen. So maybe we
Mhm.
can make that like he was always like the second choice.
Like he's never he has the ambition.
Oh, so like
be a
always the bridesmaid,
ruler.
never the bride sort of situation.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I think so.
Elian's next in line, and she's much like she's stronger and like powers wise or whatever, and then like
Mhm.
like take over the throne because I know I'm better. I have more potential. Yada yada, something like that.
Oh, he has a Neji
Yeah,
arc.
probably.
Okay. Yeah, that would
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
Yeah, let's make him the angsty elder brother who's like
Yeah, that's his whole deal. He's the angsty older brother that thinks he's better than his little sister. Except in the current iteration we have, he does like the worst job of it. If we fixed it the way that if we fixed it keeping these core things in mind, he could just be a really ambitious older brother, which makes a lot of sense for him.
And maybe he could like think he's better for Meridian than Elion.
Plant lives matter.
Oh my
God. Do that.
Plant lives matter.
That's basically, I think that's the platform he's running on. That's the campaign slogan for him, is like he cares about these plant people, but who are the plant people? What are the subjects of this world like? Them? Does he only make plant people? Is that his thing? Does he want...
Does he
plant
make
people
them?
Are
like actually make them?
I think he magics them. Wait, I'm actually not sure. Okay, I'm cheating again and looking at his profile.
Why does he make plants? Is it just to take over the world? Is that the only reason?
I think he needed like minions.
Okay, so do away with the plants entirely. Just have him be a good manipulator. Just have him be like someone that's really good at stirring the pot and like making people doubt themselves, you know?
Yeah, or if plants are a Meridian thing, maybe not make him the creator. Maybe they could just be already the royal guard type of people.
Yeah.
Like the moment they grew out of the tree, they became part of the royal guard training or something like that.
Yeah, they could be like
elves.
Yeah, or like those like the newer stormtroopers in the Star Wars movies where they're kidnapped from their houses and they like just are made to train. Like that's more compelling than he grew them whole cloth out of the ground.
He grew them non-GMOs.
Yeah, that way if you wanted to make Caleb one of them, you could give him like a Finn backstory or something. Make him be like, shit, like, I'm having moral quandaries about killing this many people for no reason, sort of thing.
Yeah. I think that's how we start to fix Caleb as well.
Yeah, that is the fix for Caleb, is we make him a compelling character for one thing. Yeah, have him rebel against his programming.
We make Phobos better as well.
We have to make Phobos and the world of Meridian a little bit cleaner, because the thing that they did with him was very dumb. This whole episode was just Phobos needs fixing.
Well, it was Caleb needs fixing, and then cross out Caleb, now it's Phobos.
Caleb needs fixing, but the underlying problem is Meridian as a whole, arc-wise, is a problem, and we need to fix that too.
Fix the arc!
Yeah, so the fix for Caleb
I just saw something.
Yeah?
I just saw something. That Irma refers to Phobos as the triple espresso of evil.
What?
Why?
Of all things to say, Irma.
Triple espressos are a good thing. They give you energy. Why would you do this?
No.
I hate coffee. But yeah.
Boundless energy and relentless.
Well.
Okay.
But Well, and that just makes him sound even more dumb.
It's a
Yeah,
really
exactly.
dumb
So
thing to
see,
say
see
about a
where we're
person.
going. Basically, that's how they made him.
Yeah, all go without any consideration as to the greater implications for that world.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit confused now because if Meridian has plant people, and I'm pretty sure like Alien and Phobos aren't exactly human, are they? Are they human or something? Oh wait, it says evolved human. Never mind.
Okay, so I feel like if you wanted to push this narrative of plant people, you could maybe make it a societal unrest thing where people treat
Oh
them
yeah,
differently because they're not made, like, organically.
like
They have to be grown.
mhm. Yeah, maybe.
Fucking the
Or like
Pokemon movie
also,
did this first and did it so good. Like, just do
yeah,
that.
yeah, basically.
Have
Or
them
like
be
they can
resentful of the
also
fact that they're
throw in
not
like
treated like humans.
yeah, and like if they're evolved humans that can use magic, maybe the plant people can't exactly use the same type of powerful magic as them, and then that's how they also got oppressed.
Yeah, like
So
if you want to go for an oppression angle, that is your way to it. You gave yourself such an in with that plant people thing, and then you never used it. Why would you do that?
basically, I think they were just like, ooh, plant people are cool.
Plant people, let's not give them brains. No, no. You don't have to make them literal fucking
They're
vegetables.
vegetables,
Yeah,
no.
no.
Okay, we are fixing it.
Yes, we're
It's
fixing.
a real fixer upper.
Really is. I feel like I've been handed like the keys to my parents' old house, and it's just like crumbling. um, you have
Oh
to
boy.
rebuild it from the ground up. So to fix Caleb, I guess what we'd have to do is make there be a system of power that puts him at a disadvantage. So, like we said, with the whole, like, if you want him to keep being a plant of some kind, then have those plant people be oppressed. Have them be
Yeah.
treated differently by the ruling classes through systemic injustice to make him want to do something about it. Otherwise, he's just a plant that attained sentience, which is very
Yes,
dumb.
and like don't make them have default plant brains.
Yeah, default plant brains. What is that? Just like they just think about their cytoplasm all day? Is that all they do?
Yes, it's like I gotta photosynthesize today.
Like, turn my face to the sun.
Boring.
It's sun o'clock. No.
It's so boring though.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was like a fortunate thing that I only started buying the comics after this arc.
Wait,
And
so
It was
actually,
a
you mentioned a while ago that their parents suddenly disappeared.
yeah. I had a
Just
feel. I have this. Well, it's
mysteriously.
vague, but I have a feeling that Phobos has something to do with it. But I mean, they're not brave enough to say so.
like I would assume that he had them killed. Like he just fucking murked them.
Yeah. Actually, do we keep the parents alive?
That's a
They're
good question.
okay dead.
I think we do. Because if they're dead, then there's no point in him seizing power. Because there's a power
Yeah.
vacuum there already. If they're alive, that resentment gets to fester. That might be a good catalyst. Like, he doesn't take power until he's like, I'm gonna say 16, 17. So, like, give that
Ooh.
resentment and, like, lust for power time to grow so that he actually does something about it instead of just, oh, his parents are
Ooh.
dead. Time to
Yeah.
take over the world. Like, what is
Yeah.
that?
It's like, oh, whoops, my sister's too young for this. It's my time to shine, basically.
Exactly.
Well, actually, that could be like a thing also. Like, if they're still alive, maybe like when he was in his angsty teen years or whatever those are, yeah. And I don't know, he starts formulating the plan to get himself into power somehow, and then insert cunning plan. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, instead of like killing off his parents.
Yeah, he could just prove to them by undermining his sister, like, in numerous ways, and they're like, yeah, that's great, but, matrilineal system, I'm sorry. What are you gonna do about it, scrub? Like,
And
this is
then
our
he has
tradition,
like
we've
a
been doing this
trump
for
card
years.
plan.
Yeah, his trump...
Maybe like I'm not sure, because would it be a clean passing of power ish in such that it would appear to the people that the queen and king give their blessings to their older son to change the change the way,
See,
or
if I were in charge of this rewrite, I would have it be that, like, whatever decrees the king and queen brought down to their people, he would manipulate and make it sound like it's a bad thing, or, like, he would actively rewrite the decrees to be bad things so that they would be blamed, to the point where, like, everyone is like, this system sucks, we need to change it. And then he comes into power and he absolutely just wrecks everyone's shit forever.
Oh, yes,
How
yes.
does he come into power?
Maybe like proving that the matrilineal rule isn't working.
Yeah, just be
How
real.
does he prove that?
Like in the thing where he somehow modifies the decrees that go down the line. Like for example, his mom, the queen, plans to do a thing, implement a thing, and then he kind of sabotages it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the people will just like agree to it?
Their people are their subjects. They don't really have a choice. Like, this isn't a democracy where there's a council involved. If a royal person were to bring forth a decree, generally they would have to follow it. So if, like, their queen brought down a decree that made them have a bad time, and over the course of many years this continued to happen, then they'd be like, fuck it, kill the queen. This sucks.
Well, maybe not kill,
I mean,
or
like,
maybe kill.
taking historical precedent from, like, actual history, it's usually like, this sucks, kill the monarch, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. But then, or would that also be like, how do we make the people think that alien is also not an option?
Her.
Yeah,
Make it be tied to her period somehow. That's what guys think. They're always like, girls can't rule shit because of their periods. Like, that's probably how they'd go about that, I think.
Although, I don't know how we would explain that since Meridian was always ruled by a queen. Or that could pave the way for the Jafar scenario.
Yeah, you could pave the way for the Jafar scenario where she is the queen, but he does, like,
although
all of this manipulating.
Yeah, and I guess that would kind of rewrite Elian's story also, because
we'd have to rewrite.
She wouldn't go to Earth, would she?
Yeah, she wouldn't go to Earth. She wouldn't have those, like, friend connections with Will and Cornelia, and to a lesser extent the other three. So there'd be a whole thing to rewrite there.
Boy.
But that's a story for another time.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I think we did manage to get like a meaty part of Phobos and Meridian's history.
Yeah, we did manage to fix some of that and resolve it, I guess. Yeah.
Like Phobos's what is it called? His motivations.
Yeah, Phobos's motivations and his whole
and
fucking
how to,
deal.
Yeah, undumbing him.
Yeah,
also.
Making him a viable bad guy as opposed to just evil, you know.
And fixing the plant people is important.
Yeah, fixing the plant people. So fixing the plant people and fixing Phobos and, like, figuring out the whole Meridian stuff in the background so that we can hopefully next week clean up Caleb and his weird relationship to Cornelia, which I fucking hate. It's, like, so it's so immature and it's so shallow. I hate it so much.
Yeah, it's a long undertaking, I feel like, but I'm sure it'll be worth it.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is gonna be really fun. I'm really enjoying this.
Yes. And so
closing statements. Phobos and Meridian need a lot of work. We've fixed some of that.
The whole thing needs a lot of work.
The whole thing
rewrite all of it. Closing statements. We did not fix Caleb this episode. Maybe this is gonna be our, like, training arc where, like, it takes us 5 episodes to fix Caleb.
Yeah. It's okay. This is our level 1.
Yeah, this is
Meridian is still our level 1.
Level 1 boss.
Every episode is like, will we fix Caleb today? Find out.
Find out
real
in the
question.
next one.
Is it fixable?
And the closing statement every episode is like, did we
manage it this time?
And now it's like, will we fix Caleb in the next episode? Find out next week.
That's the name of our podcast, Will We Fix Caleb?
Will we fix Caleb?
I think that's the subtitle of this arc, basically.
Yeah.
Yes, I am so excited, guys.
Yeah, that's such a good idea. I'm having so much fun. Okay, so same time next week.
Yes, we shall wrap it up for today.
All right. So to everybody listening, all 4 of you who remember this franchise, I'm assuming, we hope you live good lives, make great decisions, we're all in the middle of a pandemic, so go outside with a mask. Don't have any parties. Basically, just don't be a
Yeah.
dick. Yeah, Happy New
Don't
Year.
be dumb like Phobos.
Yeah, don't be dumb like Phobos. Phobos would leave the house without a mask. Don't do that. We'll see you all next week.
Yes.
Bye.
And bye. Hope
Bye,
you enjoyed.
everybody.